This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas. Magazine publisher and entrepreneur Judith Mancini is sharing captivating conversations with experts in their field about the latest trends in our ever-changing world to help you become healthy, wealthy, and wise. Judith Mancini today will spark your interest and inspire you to lead your best life ever. And now, here's Judith.
Hello, everybody. My apologies for my tech issues. Let me get right to it, and then I'll tell you what happened to me. It's not that interesting. Well, I want to talk about the war a little bit. There are so many people on the left side of the aisle that are complaining and want to charge President Trump and make a chump out of him for war crimes. This is just ridiculous. Would you rather sit around and wait for that nuclear package coming over here to the United States and killing everybody? Maybe not you, maybe your kids, maybe your friends. This has got to stop. For 47 years, going on 48, 49 years, Iran does nothing but complain about us and telling us death to America. Now they've given such phony proposals to Trump. I admire his ability to remain calm and handle like a dozen things a day. And they're all important. He takes time out to kiss his grandchildren on Easter, and people complain. What is wrong with you people? Do you want this country to become a communistic party and overall of our wonderful freedoms that we've worked on for 250 years? You want that taken away from you by the communists? You better start thinking. I don't even talk to my Democrat friends anymore. I think they don't like me because I'm a conservative. Well, their loss, not mine, but it's going to be an even bigger loss if we let people take over the different cities like has happened in New York. Well, you know, they were offered free buses and all, but they don't have the budget, and Mondavi just figured that out. You can't have a country and have your citizens happy if you live under communism. And you better start figuring out that that's what these far-leaning left people are aiming at. They're aiming at communism. Do they honestly think because they've been put into Congress that they are going to be okay with communism? Wait till they're told they can't hold office anymore. Their kids can't go to private schools. They go to the school of choice of the communists. Just think about it for a minute, would you please? Think about all the good things that happen. Don't think about the others trying to get rid of ICE. Look, I've told you over and over, I'm in favor of immigrants, legal immigrants. I'm married to one. I'm not in favor of birthright citizenship for one reason. I have seen too many airplanes full of Chinese women or busloads of people from south of the border, not necessarily Mexico, but a lot from Mexico, but further on, coming into the United States. The nurses in the hospital can't even handle them all. There's so many coming in of these people wanting birthright citizenship for their children. And then what happens to the parents? The parents leave. They go on the bus. They go on the airplane. They take the babies with them. And the next thing you know, Please let me into your country because I have a baby that's a citizen and I need to stay with my baby. Think, people, think. Think what it's taking away from you. You have your right to go to public or private school. You have your right to save your money and send your children to college. You have your right to buy a house, save your money and buy a house. There's always property around in the United States. You don't need to live in Beverly Hills or on the beach or in the mountains of Colorado next to the ski area. There are so many people who have made a wonderful life by coming to our country. You got to stop and think. These people don't know how to rule. And there's that one guy, I won't even mention his name, because he's so disgusting, he's death to America. He said we deserved the towers come tumbling down. The guy is loony, and so are Bernie Sanders and the fake Pocahontas. I want to know what the taxes are on the 1% that Bernie wants us to eliminate all of their ability to write things off. Bernie, how'd you get your 3 houses and what do you pay in taxes? How'd you get your 3 houses? You've never had a regular job. You only ran for office or went around preaching to people. You're a jerk. I said it. You want to call me out on it? Call me. I don't care. This is no good for our country and our children and people who are legal citizens, not illegal aliens that have just murdered people. Okay, enough of that. The war, the Iranians can't be trusted. You know, they went ahead and shot missiles into Israel. Now they said that they would take care of the Strait of Hormuz. I can never remember the name of it. Well, they took care of it by making the boats, the ships, go a different pattern in it. And they stop them and they make them pay a ticket, a fine, whatever you want to call it. They make them pay in cryptocurrency or Chinese money. Does that sound like that's fair? The Chinese and the Russians and all the bad people want to eliminate us. That's not opening that up. We don't even get our oil from there. We're trying to protect Europe and the countries that are close to it that do get their oil from there. And those people are members of NATO, and they won't give us the air space over their countries to let us fly to protect everybody. I say get out of NATO. I'm sick and tired of it. And I know President Trump is, and I know you are out there. You're just not speaking up. Well, I don't blame you for being afraid. You could be a target. Of course you could. That's what happens when this comes around to our country. No freedom of speech, no freedom of thought, no freedom of movement. Think about it, people. The midterms are coming up. Do not put in another communist. Okay, I hope you listen to me. Let's talk about something happy. Artemis 2. It's coming down on Friday. Oh, that's tomorrow. In the evening, it's going to land several miles off the coast of California. That's where they will be going down. We're praying everything works well. This has been an unbelievable trip around the moon. And some of the pictures, if you haven't seen them, look it up on your laptop, your computer, something like that. Because they are the most beautiful pictures of the moon I have ever seen. And the Earth from their spaceship in the curvature of the Earth where we're sitting. It's unbelievable. This is one of the best times in the entire history 250-year history of our country to be alive. Think of the possibilities of what can be done with the things that these astronauts are learning up there. They're all so happy and they're working so hard on all of their scientific, whatever they do up there, challenging things and taking pictures. It's very exciting. I think I told you that my ex-husband and I stopped way back 50 years ago to see the landing on the moon and the planting of that flag by astronaut Armstrong and the walking around in prayers of our friend. So that's our happiness. We're going to move on because I'm not too happy today. Life gives you challenges. And I always feel that a working woman, a woman entrepreneur, a woman who has a business or works in a field, a school teacher or college professor, or maybe she owns a cleaning business and she manages 10 people that go around and take care of people's homes. It's a legitimate, good making money business, but it takes a lot of time and energy. And on top of that, what if you have children that you're raising, or what if you're a single mother? Men seem to have it easy, and I'm not saying that. I seem to be getting a lot of weird calls right now. Think about what men do. Now, I'm not trying to criticize men, but think about what they do. Whether they're married or single, they usually have childcare to take care of their kids. And if they don't, I met a man the other day who was delivering Amazon things to my house. And I saw he had a little girl and he was in his car instead of in an Amazon thing. And he showed me his thing that said, "I'm an Amazon driver." He was very polite and explained to me that Amazon has a new thing where they hire private drivers because they're overloaded with 1 day or 1 hour or 3 hour deliveries. Now, they keep putting all these things in, but they can't fulfill the people to fulfill the orders. So he told me that they're hiring these private drivers with their credentials and their licenses and all of that. They fill out the papers, but they are apparently allowed to take their children with them if they need to. Now, I'm not saying little babies. I don't know. This seemed to be somebody who could have been in preschool or kindergarten, starting out kindergarten. And she was so well behaved. She was just sitting there and playing with her little toy, her doll, and being very polite to her father. I didn't go out to the car, but I'm close to where they park on the street. And I just thought, what if women had that long ago that they could take their kids to work? Some people do. My ophthalmologist years ago, I had LASIK surgery by him, and I don't really need to wear glasses anymore, except to see fine print since I turned 78. And I think because I spend too much time on the computer, on the blue light, even though these are blue light lenses. At any rate, my ophthalmologist and his wife was also an eye doctor. And when she had her first child, she set up one of the offices as the nursery for the little baby. And they raised their kids coming into that office and taking them to school and coming back and having somebody there to take care of them, maybe it was somebody from college or somebody who needed a job like a nanny in the office. And it was wonderful. We weren't allowed as patients to go in there because who knows what germs everybody has. But you could see in there, you could peek in there from the hallway and wave to the babies, and sometimes they'd wave back at you. They got along just fine, and it was wonderful. But how many times do you see a mother able to get things like that? Right now, I was not aware of what people are paying for childcare, like after school care. Okay. Here's my nurse with advanced degrees, my daughter, my nurse daughter, my daughter nurse. I've told you she's in administration right now. She has traveled from new babies and all of that, gone through every single department. To be a nurse, you have to work 12-hour shifts, and this was not going to, she's not going to work at nighttime. But it was hard to work as a nurse at 8 hours. You could only work maybe part-time, and not every hospital has that. So she went into administration. And that's wonderful because it's working out for her. And now she job shares. I never had that. I ran a company. I owned my own company, my publishing company. I wish I had had that. Now, most of the people in my employ did not have children. I don't even remember one who did, to tell you the truth. But had they needed something, they could have brought their child in to be with us. Not every day, unless it was a setup like the ophthalmologist did. But to send them, excuse me, to after-school care in a public elementary school. They're both still in elementary school. One's getting ready to go to, what do they even call them these days, between elementary school and high school? I can't remember. But they still go to childcare if they don't have something that my daughter can take them to. She job shares with another, middle school. Thank you, Juan. Why I couldn't remember it, I don't know, because, we had high school and junior high. That's what we had, junior high. So this is different, but you have to pay for after-school care at these public schools because the school system can't afford to pay for them. Now, maybe they do it differently in places that are low income. I have no idea. But this is not high income. This is just regular old income where they live. It's a public school. It is a dual language school. And you have to be able, it's Spanish dual language, Spanish and English. And you have to be approved. You have to take a test and make sure you're fluent enough in the foreign language that you're taking, be it Spanish or English. You have to be able to answer simple questions so there won't be any problem with emergencies and things like that. So first, I want to say, before I get into the Spanish language with them, is they have gone since they were in nursery school, before they went to pre-kindergarten and all of that. The after-school care and all is so expensive. I could have gone to college on it. I am not kidding you. It's a couple $1,000s for a school year, maybe more than that. During the summer, it's outrageous what they have to pay to take care of their kids. So all I'm saying is it seems like men don't have as many responsibilities for the children during the school age children growing up. And if they are single by themselves, they're lucky to have a grandma, mama, or somebody else like that to help them out if they're single, but not too many men do. It seems not too many of them file for custody of their children if there's a divorce or, God forbid, their wife dies. It's very, very difficult in that case for the men too. But my daughter makes this work now. She works 3 days a week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And she job shares with somebody who works the Monday and Tuesday for her. And yes, of course, the pay department that pays everybody adjusts their schedules and their pay. They don't pay each other. It's taken out of their paycheck because the hospital needs people to work and they need qualified people to work. So to be a nurse, you have to have a license and a lot of education. So this is what is good, because there are lots of ladies who have, or even men, they're male nurses now too, by the way. You should know that. They have the opportunity to continue working the way they are, or job share like these people. I think that's a marvelous thing. So that's why I'm a little upset about the people who bring their babies over here and put extra pressure on these wonderful nurses, be they male or female. And then they leave and just cost the hospital lots of money. And they get in their bus or their airplane and off they go. And then the next time they try to come in is not a pretty thing. They usually come back in as illegal people. And that's what was coming around or across the border when all these thousands and thousands of people came across. Some of them were birthright babies, but they were illegal citizens. This causes all kinds of horrible problems. I am not in favor of ICE beating up people, pulling people out of homes, taking them away from their family. And you know what? A lot of that is made up. And some of it is real. And I don't know how they deal with people that are not, people who work for ICE that are not sincere and don't follow the rules. I have no idea what they do to them. But I'm here to tell you, we don't want illegal aliens here who come across the border, and they're members of gangs in the different countries, Central and South America, and they come in. They're having some of them in trial now, if they can catch them, and they murder people. They rape and murder, just like they probably did in their own countries, because these are not normal people. They're grotesque criminals. That's why we need ICE. Okay? So cut it out. And I feel sorry for the woman who got killed in Minneapolis in the car. She should have never been doing what she was doing. Harassing people. Spitting. Apparently, I've heard she had a gun in the car, so I don't know. These are the people that we don't want around, and she wasn't an illegal immigrant. She was just a citizen of the United States who was crazed, who was up to no good. We have a problem in this country with people who hate Trump and actually hate our country. And you know what I say to them? Get out. Leave. Go to one of these countries you think is so swell. I can't tell you that I think the UK is great or France is great anymore. If you go to Parliament to listen to some of these people, they're just as deranged as the ones that are taking over New York. And there are neighborhoods in London where the police won't even go because there's Sharia law. And that is dangerous because they have the guards that won't let you in. And if you go against them, I hope God's protecting you. And this is a country that has a king. And you know they're having all sorts of talks over there. Do they get rid of the monarchy? And if they do, what happens to the so-called peoples who want to support the monarchy? The whole world is in disarray right now. I don't know what's going to happen. I know we're going to celebrate 250 years coming up. We're starting little celebrations right now. You know what? If it wasn't the way it is right now and my family could take the days off, I would take them to Washington, D.C., our capital, for this celebration. But quite frankly, I think it's going to be too crowded no hotel reservations, wonderful things like fireworks and marching bands, and who knows, you're going to have a wrestling match or something there. All sorts of things are going on during this celebration. So I think it would be really fun. Why don't you today think about what you want to do to celebrate the 250th anniversary of our country and praise it for all of their liberties and freedom that you have instead of complaining, because you're not going to get by with it. Complaining, I mean, if you can't even figure out how not to vote for communists. Okay, I'm done ranting and raving, except here. Now, this is an example. One of the reasons I'm upset today is I filled out all my papers and gathered my papers and everything and sent them to our CPAs who have filed our taxes for over 25 years. Over 25 years. And they recently sold their company. They were a great company. They keep everything forever for you. They had reasonable rates. When you have lots of different papers, it's stuck in your file. It's not cheap. It's not like going to TurboTax and doing them yourself. But if you own businesses, if you work, if you have anything, I think you should get a CPA and talk to them. So we did. Obviously, we did, because I own businesses and for a long time. And don't forget, kids, you have to file taxes too. Like my little grandchildren, when they were child models and all, had to put that down. I don't know how you file separately for that with your parents, but they did. I hate doing all that kind of stuff, so I'm glad I didn't get involved in it. But you need to file your taxes. Now, we don't own any businesses anymore. I don't own a business. I don't have anything to file. It's very simple. We, own a house and that. And even if you don't have any, everybody has to file taxes, even if you don't have a big income coming in. Whatever you do, if you wait tables and you're taking your tips off of your wages as a tax write-off, no tax on tips, however they're doing the paperwork, you have to do it. Even if you're 16 and you're the busboy and you get a $50 tip or a $20 tip, you have to file your taxes, okay? April 15th is the deadline to file your taxes. Here I sent my tax information into this firm that we've been with for over 25 years. Well, almost 30 years, if I think about it. And our taxes used to be complicated. So I went to file my taxes last year and I found out the company had been sold. And I was talking to somebody in China. So I called up my old CPA that I've known all those years, and I was able to get him because I had his phone numbers that he had given me years ago. He said, "Oh yeah, we sold the company and I'm still doing some things. And this takes a lot of pressure off of me." Okay, well, it just gave me more pressure because I put my taxes into these people by the first of the year this year. As soon as I started getting all the information I needed to gather, by the end of January, beginning of February, I had everything together and I sent them to them. And they have not gotten back to me yet. And yet, one of these guys from China who cannot speak English very well said to me, "Where's your paperwork on Marval Enterprises?" What? I sold that company over 10 years ago, and you know it. Well, I couldn't understand a damn word he was saying. Now, I've tried to get a hold of these people again. If they screw me up, because we don't file to be able to postpone filing on April 25th. You know you can do that if you've done it before because it's complicated for your business or something like that. Okay? No, I gave them all the papers. I know. It's good to know approximately what you're going to owe the IRS or not. Okay? Now, there are lots of new things that have been put in that you can deduct with or without a business, working part-time or full-time, whatever you're doing, your house, your mortgages, things like that, your credits for your kids, this and that. That's why you need to take it to a CPA. And darn it, I'll try not to cuss and swear. I am really ticked off. And that's how I'm going to spend my afternoon, tracking down these idiots that think I still own a company I got rid of over 10 years ago. And believe me, I had to pay the state of California. That's another thing that just ticks me off. In the state of California, you have to have a business license if you go out and decide you're going to make a little newsletter, deliver it hand to hand to your neighbors, and they're going to pay you 25 cents. You have to have a business license. It's $800 every year. Thank you, Newsom, you jerk that's lost all of our money. Okay, this is my ranting day because I'm upset about my CPAs and taxes not being filed. And I'm really disgusted with people complaining about Trump. And it just keeps me going like this all day. So I'm going to try to take care of my tax problems if they'll answer the damn phone and move on. My next pet peeve is my laptop computer that isn't even a year old, and I've had nothing but problems with it from the Apple Store. I know this Apple Store in Palm Desert better than any other Apple Store I've ever been in because I never go into them. I go in to buy my things, and I get out. This darn laptop, I find out today, I don't know what she did. It was frozen on preview. And that's all that was wrong with it. Well, it's always got something wrong with it, but usually I can fix it myself. I was trying to send a portrait of me to somebody I'm working with on setting up another little business. And it was frozen on my screen. And preview was frozen. You know, I previewed it to myself so I could look at it to see if I wanted to use it. So everything was frozen, and I looked at everything. I couldn't do anything. So I get in there, and she fixes it. She pushed a few buttons. Did she tell me what she did? No. Frustrating. So here I get here today, and I've had nothing but problems getting on to the site to do the show. Thank God one more time for Juan because he helps me and he gets me on. I almost missed the cutoff date, for goodness sakes, when they shut down the studio that we use. Thank you again, Juan. So those are my pet peeves for the day. Now, this Artemis 2 is unbelievable. I told you it's landing on Friday in the water, touchdown. And it's going to be really something amazing. Maybe they'll have cameras out there. It might be too dark. Who knows? But they're going up there because they want to get back to land on the moon and perhaps be able to build a little building or something that says this is ours. Because we want to expand where we are and what we can do. It has all sorts of minerals and things on the moon that can help us. It will be able to advance all of the internet and AI and what else we use, and that will be really wonderful. So we are living in just an amazing, amazing time. And I can't wait to listen to those astronauts once they land and go through their human body checks and make sure they're all okay and they talk to us. The moon pictures, like I told you earlier, get on your computer or whatever you have and, look at those pictures of the moon. Okay, here's my health for the day. Healthy, wealthy, and wise. I've spent enough time telling you about being wise. The things that you really should be concerned about with these fast-acting drugs, what are they called? BMI is your body mass. I want you to know that. Before you start taking any of those things, I want you to have physicals and see how you're doing and see where you are. Don't just try to get, and no doctor should be giving you a prescription for them without giving you a physical and a blood test, lab test, urine test, blood test. It's very important. You want to see if your cholesterol is high. Let me tell you something. The numbers for your cholesterol were lowered. Cholesterol numbers used to be much higher than they are now in the safe area. But what happened when the cholesterol drugs were invented? The doctors, the AMA, and everybody said, oh, I think that the good numbers should be lowered so we can sell more pills. So be careful of these things. Same with your blood pressure. What's your normal blood pressure? That's why I want you to take it. When you get older, when you get in your 50s, 60s, 70s, it could be a good time to start watching your blood pressure. And you should be having labs 2 times a year to compare. But be sure you go to a good lab, not one that's got old equipment or stretching things. You want good blood pressure, good cholesterol, and get your fat index. And where you want to go to, a good one, besides what it says on the scale, is do your BMI, body mass index. It's very important to how you weigh. I don't think you can see this, but I'm going to put it up here. This was a good chart. You see the pictures of the women on the top and the men on the bottom? I think it's the men on the bottom. Yeah. I'm just going to read you the one, not the normal one. It's 8. Sometimes the printer print's so small I can't even see it. A normal body mass index for a woman, normal, is 18.5 to 24.5. You become overweight if it's 25.0 to 29.9, okay? That's for the women. I got to get off here in a minute, so listen up. For men, the normal body mass index is 18.5 to 24.5. Oh, wait, that doesn't make any sense. They're telling me it's the same on both. So I guess you have to adjust it. I've got it. They faked me out on this. I'm sorry. I want to know what it is separately for men and women, but that's what it is. That goes along with your weight. And if you don't get more information before you sign up for these things that you're sticking in your stomach, you're crazy and dangerous, and something's going to happen to you. There are wonderful herbs you could add to your diet that will help you curb your appetite and help you and walk around. Don't think because you gained 20 to 40 pounds from when you were in college to now. That's a lot of years, okay? So don't expect that these things that take the weight off in a month or 2 months are healthy for you. They're not. It takes a while to get that weight gone. So with that, everybody, go out and do your errands. Go out and get those taxes filed. And I hope I have some happy news next week after Artemis lands, and think of all the good things. With LifeWave also, there's a patch that is SP6, and you can put it on your ankle, and it helps curb your appetite. Just the thought that something you're doing is helping you encourages you. Okay? All right, everybody. Sorry about that. I've got to figure out one more time what they're doing to my laptop that I can't get into the studio and all. Thank you again, Juan, for helping me out. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. If it's on television, look at the landing. Look at the landing in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of California. You might be able to see it streaking through the sky if it's clear coming on down. So check it out. And in the meantime, cherish yesterday, dream tomorrow, and live today. Thank you. Goodbye. Have a wonderful weekend, and God bless America.